Here. Are ready?
Sure.
Alright, awesome. Here.
When you basically just said that trans people aren't valid. They're not a thing. They're just girls pretending to be boys or boys pretending to be girls.
Okay.
Like, okay,
Oh, someone's excited. Okay.
sex is biological, but gender is a completely different thing.
No, gender is not disconnected from sex. So.
It's not completely disconnected, but it's still a cultural thing. It's still from society. It's still
Okay.
in the mind.
No, it is not in the mind. Okay, you're not a man if you think you're a man. And I didn't say pretending, or if I did, I shouldn't have said pretending. Let me amend.
You said playing.
Okay, I said a boy who thinks he's a girl. That's the usual phraseology I use. Not playing. I usually say a boy who thinks he's a girl or a girl who thinks he's a boy, which is technically what we're talking about here. As far as the actual psychological issues at play, it used to be called gender dysphoria or gender identity disorder. Now they call it gender dysphoria. The idea that sex or gender are malleable is not true. Okay, and I'm not denying your humanity if you're a transgender person. I am saying that you are not the sex to which you claim to be. You're still a human being, and you're a human being with an issue that I wish you Godspeed in dealing with in whatever way you see fit. But if you are going to dictate to me that I'm supposed to pretend that men are women and women are men, no. My answer is no. I'm not going to modify basic biology because it threatens your subjective sense of what you are.
Alright, are you all caught up? Or are you still lagging a little bit behind? I don't know how much of a delay this is on.
Lagging.
Alright. So just tell me when I pause the video in the thing.
Okay, we good.
Alright, we're all caught up. Alright, so basically, what Ben Shapiro here is saying is that women are women. They stay as a woman because, like, biologically, you cannot biologically 100% change your gender. Sure, you can get, like, transplants, not transplants, gender, not swaps, I'm trying to think of the name of it. Like, you can get a vagina put on you if you're a dude. It's pretty weird. Like, it's really expensive. Gender swap study here. Let's see how much. Gender reassignment. Let's see how much this is. Not covered by... Yeah, should this be covered by health insurance, though?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think it
Because
shouldn't.
if they have a dysphoria, then obviously it's a mental illness, right?
Yes.
But it's not considered a mental illness anymore.
But technically it is. I'm not saying that. I don't think people need to have to go get medicated for this. That's pretty weird. I think they should just deal with it. I think it's illogical to want to be the other gender. Unless you're a woman, of course, and you want to be an awesome man because of all the benefits that we don't actually have. That's actually...
What are you talking about, dude?
Dude, LMAO. Alright. But... Alright, so, what were you gonna say, before I cut you off? It was about, mental illness of this.
It is a mental illness, but they don't classify it as one anymore.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if... Because, like, if you get your wee-wee chopped off, right, and now you're, like, a fake woman, then...
Yeah,
your
fake woman.
Solved,
yeah,
right?
but, no, because you're still producing, male hormones. You can't function as a woman. You'd have to get, I think you take estrogen.
I know that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, from, like, a physical...
Yeah, you can look...
Aesthetic...
You can look like a woman, yeah, that's possible.
Because I feel like... I don't know.
But looking like a woman
I'm
is
just
not
a
being a
normal
woman.
average fucking person.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this is from a normal, average, dumb person point of view when you ask me shit.
Oh, yeah. Same here. But, would you treat someone, you're in nursing school too, someone with gender dysphoria, just based on if they came into, wait, what kind of nurse do you want to be?
I want to be like a nurse injector.
Injector.
Botox and shit.
Alright, they make a lot of money. So you're sitting there, someone wants this to look like a different gender, I suppose you're like freelance or something doing this, or do you want to work in like an institution?
Probably I'll work with a doctor first, just to get experience.
Yeah. Isn't that like really dangerous? Isn't Botox like a poison?
Yeah, it's a toxin. It freezes the muscles in your face.
Yeah, I know what
But
it does
like
and everything.
relaxes them. It like relaxes them.
Yeah, people use it to get wrinkles to go away. My mom had that.
I'm getting some tomorrow. I'm so happy.
Ouch. 1 to 3 nanograms of Botox per kilogram of body. Say I'm like 50 or 40 something kilograms. That is a really small amount of Botox. Like, how much do you put inside of someone to get their face to go down? Is it like super diluted?
That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it does kind of depend on the area that you're treating, and how deep the fine lines are.
Alright. I'm gonna pull up a video of Botox injection. You've probably... Oh, it's so loud. Alright. So, let me turn on closed captions. I'm gonna speed this up. You don't have to watch the video. You've probably seen stuff like this.
Okay, while you're watching that,
Yeah.
are you good at math?
Yeah.
Side note. Okay, if you subtract a negative number
Mm-hmm.
from...
That's adding. If you subtract a negative, that's adding.
You have a negative number minus a positive number. How do you do that?
Alright, so if you have a negative number... I'm watching this Botox stuff. It looks really awful. But say you have -1 and then you minus 2, it's going to be -3. But if you have -1 minus -2, it's going to be 1. Because if you subtract a negative, it's adding. And if you subtract a normal number, it's just subtracting.
If you multiply a negative number times a positive number, is it positive or negative?
A negative times positive is always negative. Negative times negative is always positive. Positive times positive is always positive.
Okay.
What kind of math are you doing right now? I just watched the video. It looked weird.
Stupid people math.
Yeah. Alright. But I'm gonna resume this video. The Ben Shapiro video. But, a lot of people just want to look... I shouldn't speak for a different population of whoever, but I feel like a lot of people just want to look, a certain way. They don't really care about the whole actually becoming a woman. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I feel like if you feel like you're a woman but you have very strong masculine features,
But if
you're
you...
gonna wanna try to soften them.
Yeah. If you feel like you're a woman, but you have masculine features, and you actually are a woman, then go for, looking like a woman, or... It doesn't matter how you dress, as long as, like, people know that men are men and women are women. And do you know what hermaphrodites are?
People who have both.
Yeah, but, they're not born. It's really more of a, mutation kind of thingy. birth defect where they're born with both. Still, one is more dominant than the other, but yeah. So you're still either one of the genders. You just have disformation, mutation, whatever you want to call it. But I'm gonna start the Ben Shapiro video back up again.
Saying these kids should like not be accepted because they don't really fit into either place. They can't just like.
I'm saying that the Boy Scouts have a standard. You must be a biological boy to be a Boy Scout. You have to be a boy to be a Boy Scout.
Where's that written though?
In the name Boy Scouts. Because this is a very because for all of human history, boy meant boy and girl meant girl. Boy did not mean girl. And if I call you a moose, are you suddenly a moose? Okay, if I redefine our terms. No, yes, that's right. Men and women are a completely different thing. This is true. Have you ever met a man or a woman? They're completely different.
You can't just say you're a cat. It's not a thing. It's genders. It's not saying you're.
Okay, why is that? I don't understand. Why? Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, I won't ask you how old. I will ask you how old you are. Okay, because you're young enough that it's probably not insulting to ask you. So.
I'm 22, so I'm probably young and naive, right?
No. Why aren't you 60? Why aren't you 60? And why can't you identify as 60? What is the problem with you identifying as 60?
Because it's not the same as gender. You can't just.
You're right. Age is significantly less important than gender. You can't magically change your gender. You can't magically change your sex. You can't magically change your age.
You can still legally change it. People recognize.
You can't legally change your age, by the way.
Obviously, you can change your name, you can change your sex, you can change your identity.
Just because you can do things legally doesn't mean that they are correct biologically. You could do lots of things in the past that were incorrect biologically and correct legally. For a long period of time in the United States, sterilization of the mentally ill took place. That didn't make it okay. Skinner versus Oklahoma. Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes wrote the decision.
Right. I still don't understand why you're accepting these children that have gender.
It's not a
Alright, just let me know when you're caught up. One second. Alright, sterilization surgery. And the mentally ill. Do you think that's a good idea? Hold on. What are the... I really want to know. I've always thought of this. I thought this was a great idea. I don't know why. It shouldn't be legal to sterilize mentally ill people, as they don't need to go around having more defective kids. But, let's...
Well, just because they're mentally ill doesn't necessarily mean their kids will be.
One second. But with the actual chromosome defects, I'm curious about this. Oh, there we go. What happens if... Huh.
Say that again? My internet lagged out.
Oh, I'm reading this thing right now. It says, woman with Down syndrome gives birth to normal child. I don't want to read this text. I want an actual website. Here, this is an actual thing. Canadian Down Syndrome Society. Women with Down syndrome are able to have children, but many men with the condition, unfortunately, are not able to. However, it is possible. So it's actually... Yeah, this is unethical, I think, because it's a 30 to 50% chance that the baby will have Down syndrome. And, I have high, like, maybe extremist views on the severely mentally ill and the retarded population. There's people say retarded's offensive, but I don't really care. But I think it's unethical to have more children with more mental disabilities if it can be stopped. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't think it's fair to just go on in and or sterilize them without them consenting, if they can even consent to that because they're retarded. But I don't know. If they had a kid, would they be able to take care of it?
No.
No, they probably wouldn't.
Yeah. So,
But I don't think that that would make them any less human and deserving of life, you know?
I think actually it kind of does in a way, because creating more children with mental disabilities is not good. That's a not good thing.
Well, you shouldn't go out and purposely try to have a retarded kid.
Yeah, but they're to the point where they don't like, I'm not saying all people with Down syndrome might not understand, but there's a very high chance, I'm saying. Like, here, let's look up the average IQ of a person with Down syndrome. Wow, it pops up right away. Assuming they can read. Alright. So 50 at the high, 69 at the highest with mild Down syndrome. I don't know how you can have mild. It's a condition with the chromosomes, but okay. Severe is 20 to 30 IQ. And it's pretty funny that the most intelligent people with Down syndrome have the median intelligence of all of the African countries combined. That's wild.
Edgy.
Oh, yeah. Alright. But what do you think about the Boy Scouts? Where I live, the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts have just become the Scouts. And I think that's actually retarded. Like, who wants to be a Boy Scout anyways? Because that shit's gay. But
Well, I don't even understand, why did they have to change it?
because people complained, that the SJW people.
So do the Girl Scouts accept little boys?
Yep.
I
That's
feel like that's not what it, when it was founded, that's not what they were trying to go for.
I know, because it's in the
They
name
wanted, like, a
Boy
place for
Scout.
little girls to get together,
Mm-hmm.
and a separate place for guys to get together. You know,
Yeah.
'cause they're different.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Alright, I'm
I
gonna
don't think
restart.
there's a problem with maybe having like a different group.
Yeah, like the normal. There still has to be the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, not just the Scouts. Maybe you can have yeah, like you said, a different group.
Yeah. Or like a thing where both of them get together and do stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Alright, well, I'm gonna start up this video again.
A matter of open-minded and accepting. I want them to get treatment that they see fit, but that's not involving me. The idea behind the transgender movement as a civil rights movement is the idea that all of their problems would just go away if I would pretend that they were the sex to which they claim membership. That's nonsense. The transgender suicide rate is 40%. It is 40%. And according to the Anderson School at UCLA, it makes no difference. There's a study that came out last year. It makes no difference, virtually no difference, statistically speaking, as to whether people recognize you as a transgender person or not, which suggests there's a very high comorbidity between transgenderism, whatever that mental state may be, and suicidality. That has nothing to do with how society treats you.
Do you think it could be because of their
Just tell me when you're caught up again.
Cut up.
Alright, so the whole thing about the 40% suicide rate in the transgender community, and how it's not changing based on after they get the surgery. It's very minute, not like barely seeable about the UCLA study that happened. But there's this other study that happened that the transgender community had a suicide rate that was comparable to Jews in Auschwitz. And the Jews and other groups, I think it was just a study on the Jewish people, but there were other groups persecuted and stuff in the Holocaust. But
So you're saying that the trans are killing themselves at the same rate that people were dying in Auschwitz? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, that people were killing themselves during the Holocaust. Let's see. Steven Crowder, I don't care. Trans people are committing suicide at a faster rate than Jews did during the Holocaust. Do you think hate they receive is worse than that? The hate that transgender people receive, which is low to none, is not comparable in any way to what Jews during the Holocaust experienced. That is extremely retarded. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think those are two like completely non-comparable things.
I know. The group that
But I
care.
think,
Go ahead.
well, I just think maybe I feel like our Western society is pretty accepting of the transgenders and whatever they want to do. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe the issue is they can't get like maybe funding to, get the surgeries that they want to
I know,
look
but
the way they feel and the medicine.
the surgeries, like they said, have little to no change, like very small amount of change in them actually committing suicide and them not committing suicide.
Then I wonder why that is.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start this back up.
You're bullied at school?
No, I don't think that. I do not think that the discrepancy. I do not think the discrepancy. First of all, I'm against bullying of any sort. Okay, the idea that somebody would beat somebody up is terrible. Okay, as somebody who's viciously bullied in high school, I'm not a fan of bullying. But the idea that the normal suicide rate across the United States is 4%. The suicide rate in the transgender community is 40%. The idea that 36% more transgender people are committing suicide because people are mean to them is ridiculous. It's not true, and it's not backed by any science that anyone can cite. It is pure conjecture. In fact, it's not even true that bullying causes suicide, according to a lot of studies. For example, in the black community, where the idea is supposedly that America is a racist society, blacks are bullied a lot. Okay, in the black community has significantly lower suicide rates than in the white community. In fact, in third world countries, the suicide rate is significantly lower than in first world countries. Suicide actually seems to be a privilege of the upper classes, if you actually look at it from a financial perspective. So the idea that suicidality is directly a result of people like me saying, no, men are not women and women are not men, it's not true. It's also...
So you think it doesn't impact their identity at all, or their depression, or how they feel about themselves?
I think the idea that you're going to sacrifice the entire society's proper definition of sex because you think that there is in legal terms, somebody with an eggshell skull, meaning that somebody who has a pre-existing condition that makes them more susceptible to criticism, that is not a way to run a society. You can't sacrifice truth because some people are going to actually suffer because of the truth. Plus, there's no evidence whatsoever that the suicide rate would go down in the transgender community in any marked way if people just started pretending that men were women and women were men. We're trying that experiment now. We'll find out whether it works. So far, no evidence.
Have you talked to a group of trans people at all instead of this group of, like, white people?
I'm more than happy to talk to a group of any people who will have me, but usually they protest me.
All right, caught up.
Yep.
All right. So, after hearing all of that, what do you think about what Ben Shapiro said? Was it interesting, or
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What did you think?
I thought most of the points were relevant. Some of it was pretty bad. Like him saying, like he didn't really state as him saying there's no factual evidence yet. That's fine, but there will be some evidence that would go either way. So it just really depends.
Hmm. Well. Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Any business is confusing as fuck.
Yeah. 1 second. All right. So I gotta go pretty quick. What do we talk about? The transgender people. It actually being a mental illness. Being totally illogical. Being pointless. Sterilization of retarded people is actually okay because they'll produce more retarded babies, like 50% chance. More retarded babies, the population increases. It's just awful. More needy people just to leech off society. Um, fuck. What else?
You trying to be the next Hitler?
What?
Trying to
No, I'm not
create
trying to
that
be.
Aryan race?
What you
Trying to
mean?
create that Aryan race?
No, I'm just saying retarded people are bad. Hey,
So bad.
how is that bad? I don't understand.
Oh man.
That mentally retarded people are not good. How is that in any way wrong?
I
Tell
mean,
me.
they're not smart, but it doesn't make them bad people.
Right, can you
Like,
entertain my stream for like 10 minutes? Or not 10 minutes, like 5 minutes while I go away to fix my stepdad's cut?
sure.
Awesome. Thank you. Just tell me what you talk about when you get back. When I get back.
Okay, guys, he's gone. I'm gonna low key work on my homework.
Oh, mic unmuted. What's up?
What's good?
All right.
So
So,
we were talking about how we're gonna take over Germany, build up the Aryan race, get rid of the Jews,
yeah.
run away to Hitler. Or no, not Hitler. Yeah, run away to Hitler in Antarctica.
Uh, have you heard about the one conspiracy theory about where the Jewish people, like, do you know what the name of that Jewish people, the Jewish
Osh,
family, the bankers that control the world,
the Rockefeller.
no, that is the American oil people. Jewish family that
Just look up Illuminati
the
bloodline.
Rothschild family.
Oh yeah.
Rothschild family net worth. Estimated 400 billion. 400 billion 2017.
That's a lot of money.
I know. Money in circulation. Let's see how much money is in circulation right now. $1.2 trillion. And so they own quite a bit of money. That's almost $500 billion. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, they're fucking Illuminati bloodlines and shit, dude.
I know.
So, they control everything.
It's wild.
You know the federal bank isn't federal?
Yeah, there are no state-owned banks. Banks loan like the Federal Reserve or like the Fed, they loan money to banks at an interest rate, and then the banks pay back. Well, the banks charge people an interest rate to borrow their money, and then they also charge interest. Wait, yes, charge interest on that and send it to the fuck, where am I going? All right, so the
You're always gonna be in debt because you're paying them to print your money.
yeah, the banks will most likely always be in debt, because say if you open a bank and say, hey bank, I would like to take out $1 billion so I can start my own baking company, and the United States will probably say, well, no, but let's say you did, so let's go. So you take out one. How many zeros is this? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Is this enough zeros? Hold on, yes, this is enough. Alright, and then you multiply that by, let's say, what is like 13% maybe? 1.13. That means,
13%?
yeah, that means they have to pay if they take out $1 billion loan for the bank, the bank takes a loan from the government that they're gonna have to pay back an extra $130 million due to interest. Yeah, I think that's what the interest, it's near 13%. Yeah. I don't need these retard viewers in the chat saying, "Oh, well, actually, the United States no."
Well, maybe they have a point. What are they saying?
Wait, so what?
What?
What? Alright, yeah. So next thing, I need to talk about the death penalty in here somewhere. Alright. So what do you think about capital punishment? And what should it be punished? What should be punishable by death?
Well, see, you always give me these hard questions where I'm like always somewhere in the middle because I'm not 100% sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's kind of wrong to kill somebody, even if they killed somebody.
Mm.
But at the same time, like, they cost us tax dollars to keep in the prisons.
Yeah.
Um,
And prisons
so
are...
I think maybe we should just make them do slave labor. Like,
Yeah, that's
why
already
not?
legal. Yeah, the 13th Amendment, it abolishes all slavery except for punishment of a crime. So,
Oh, well, then
technically,
why aren't we just doing that then?
we are.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, yeah,
Wait, we are?
yeah.
How? But it costs us
They...
money to put them in jail.
I know, and then they do, community service work and, like, work in factories. Like, making,
Well, not all of them, though,
plates.
right?
Yeah, not all of them.
Well, they all need to do that.
Yeah, but there are not many jobs that people in prison can do. And a lot of people
They
say,
can do like hard labor, like
oh yeah,
take
but
them to like a coal mine or something, make them
dude,
live
what
in
the
the
fuck?
coal
The
mine.
whole United States does not have coal mines, okay? That's like some West
Yeah, but
Virginia
the whole
stuff.
United States isn't in jail either. So
Yeah, I guess so.
free coal,
I know.
which means free gas for everybody because
Yeah,
it's slave labor.
but coal isn't gas. Gas is oil, which we
Hey,
get
I
from the
told
Middle
you.
East.
No, we have natural
We have
resources here.
oil sometimes in like Alaska and Texas.
Yeah, but like other things run off of coal,
Like
like trains, maybe
some trains.
something.
Trains and factories. But electricity. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, a lot of prisons are privately owned. So there's this thing, this conspiracy theory, where people say that more people are being put into prisons not because there are more crimes, but because the government, pays businesses, like to, businesses are making money, and people are getting put into jail for profit, not because they're actually guilty, which is totally BS also.
Why do you think it's BS?
Because I'm pretty sure the United States government would not, well, they would, the legal system is not, the entire legal system is not corrupt, is what I'm getting at.
But parts of it are.
Parts of it, but not the entire criminal justice system, or the justice system.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure we can find some way to make better use of the people that are in jail with slave labor. I'm
Yeah.
sure. If we got a group of smart people together to think
Yeah.
about it.
But would they really want to do labor? Like, my grandma, my uncle, and my grandpa all worked in a prison. My uncle still works in a prison. My grandparents are retired. But my grandma was a teacher. She taught people in prison. And these kids did not want to learn anything. They did not give a fuck about anything.
Well, that's why they gotta do slave labor.
I know. But they're still kids, and they have the right to education.
Oh, well, kids, yeah, I guess that's different, though.
Mm.
Because they're kids.
Yeah.
and shit. So they're still like developing.
Yeah. But these are like teenage kids, like old enough to know
Well,
right from wrong.
still, you're still developing when you're a teenager.
Yeah, I think you develop until you're like 25.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But I think, like, for the people who have like life sentences and stuff like that,
What
or like
sentences?
life
Oh,
sentences,
yeah.
or like a long time, why not just, you know, put them to good use?
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
But I mean, I think also like some people we can like rehabilitate them so that when they get out, they can become, better in society or whatever. Like if they're like a fucking drug addict or something.
Yeah, but that's kind of contradictory to what you said earlier about wasting money. That's just going to cost the government more money.
Well, but the government will have free slave labor with the other people though.
I know, but we're
So,
not going to have
I mean, okay.
psychologist
Shush.
prisoners and stuff. Not
What?
walk because you can't have slave labor. Like there's not going to be some psychologist in prison walking around. That's an inmate, like to be used as slave labor. Like if that's what you're getting at.
What? Like if there's a psychologist who gets put in jail, you mean?
No, I'm saying that not um the inmates convicts are not all psychologists, and I don't think that's a good thing for them to do the free labor as.
No, I'm not saying that the fucking convicts are gonna be the therapists.
Mm.
Like,
All right, so basically what we were talking about at first is what deserves capital punishment and what does not. I say
um,
rape and murder deserve that, and violent crimes. Depending on what your definition of violent is.
so
Um,
you think we should just
ex-
kill them, basically?
yeah, it doesn't matter if they can change. It's just the fact that they did it was really fucked up.
Okay,
Like
and
if
why do you
you
think that's okay?
to kill people that haven't no wait to lethally inject criminals who have committed wrongdoing. I didn't word that right.
Okay, but why do you
Um,
think that's okay?
because it's efficient use of money. Actually, that might be pretty um expensive though, because you have to have who would kill them, like an anesthesiologist. But the whole thing that goes into your body, it's like sodium chloride. No, something chloride. What is in lethal injection? Let's look this up. Oops, accidentally at spacebar. I think it's sodium chloride.
Okay, well, regardless, why do you think that's okay?
Let's go to my state. Because, ooh, I don't know, like exactly, but it's just better to them not be around because they don't deserve to live.
What if you killed someone on accident,
Well,
though?
that's not murder, that's manslaughter.
But what if they were convicted for murder because they were set up, and
Well,
then now you killed them, and then a couple years later you found out the truth
they would have to
or
have
something?
actual hard evidence confirming that this was an actual intended murder. That's a thing on here. Let's go to this Wikipedia article. I haven't read anything out of it yet. I just pulled it up for referencing some stuff. But wrongful execution. I don't think there are many wrongful executions. 39 in a span of 22 years, which is still, it's
But
20.
how do you really know? How do you really ever know? You
Um,
can never really know unless you
I
were
know.
there.
Do we even know anything? Do you know that you're talking to me right now and that I'm talking to you if you can't physically see me talking to you?
Ooh, who knows?
Yeah, it's like, can you
Probably
prove?
just some weird AI robot or something.
Yeah, like proof to me that China exists right now.
I've been there once.
No, but proof to me that it exists.
I got pictures.
Yeah, but how is that gonna prove to me that it exists?
'Cause I got a picture.
And what? Still, like, you can't prove the existence of something objectively unless you are right there with it. Like, who's to say?
Okay, so then why do you think that's okay if you to kill those people if you can't prove it?
Oh no, I didn't say if you couldn't prove it. I said only rightful executions. I said in wrongful
Okay.
executions it shouldn't be right if there's not sufficient evidence.
But what if you end up killing them and then later, many years later, you find out that it wasn't really them and now you killed them for something that they didn't even do?
Well, you'd have to take into consideration, like, what did they actually do?
Well, if they
That
were
got
just
them to
set
the
up,
point,
they didn't
and
do anything.
well, you'd have to have sufficient evidence, I'm saying, to execute someone or to give someone lethal injection. Like, you'd have to have sufficient evidence to
But
put them away. Like DNA, I'm
okay,
saying
who
objective
chooses?
evidence.
Let me ask you this: who chooses in the states where it's legal to do that? Like, who decides that yeah, this person is gonna get the death punishment? Like, how does that work?
The jurors in a court, they decide what punishment is alright.
Okay, so it's up
That's
to
in every
them.
state. Yeah, it's like in every other court in the United States. Yeah. But here's what's in the lethal injection. Um so 3 drug beginning with midazolam. I think that's a sedative. And then midazolam and hydromorphone. I think that's to like put them to sleep. Pentobarbital. So what is this? Let me go read up on here at the top. All right, dude, for real. 1 second. Most recently used is 3 drug. Secrecy policies. Whoops. If at any time prior to the day that is 24 months after the effective date of this section, a person's manufacturer's compound, importers, transports, distributors, supplies, prescribes, prepares, administers, uses, or tests. I'm not going to read all of this out loud. Yeah, that makes no sense. Alright, yeah, but there's a 3 drug thing used to execute people. It's sodium chloride is used to stop the heart, which I've heard is like through the internet is just painful and is messed up.
Yeah,
But it should
they
have to
say
be
it's painless
peaceful.
though. They say it's painless
I
though.
know, but some
Is that
bodies
if you're gonna
convulse.
kill them and they killed somebody, is it fair for them to get a peaceful death?
If here, could you go again?
I said if somebody killed somebody and they're getting the death sentence and is it fair for them to have a peaceful death?
If we're talking about fairness, I think it would be fair if the person had to experience the same exact thing that the person put the victim through. Say if someone, but if there are multiple victims, it gets fuzzy. But say you, Porcelain, murder your husband in his sleep and cut his stomach open and then cut off his head.
So then that should be done to me.
Yes, if we're being fair, but that's not how it works.
Well, it could work that way.
I know. But we're a more developed country, and we have to understand what is acceptable and what is not.
Well, why isn't that acceptable?
Because it's,
You said it would be fair. You just said that
yes,
would be fair.
I know, but fair and acceptable are two different things.
Okay, so why is it not acceptable?
Because we're in a first world country. Third world countries, like, where haram rules, they're like public, like we had public execution years ago. There were lynchings in like the 60s, like,
Okay,
but
so
not
why is that
extreme.
not acceptable? So why is it not acceptable, though?
Because we're in a first world country, we're more developed,
Okay,
we're
and
more
what does that have to do
civilized.
with
It's not
anything?
civilized.
How do you know that's not civilized?
What the fuck you mean? Is it civilized? Say you kill your husband in his sleep tonight, cut him open, then cut off his head. Would you consider that civilized?
I mean, I could do a lot worse.
What? Okay, okay.
I could like put his finger in the grinder and or in a blender and then make him eat it or some shit like that.
Damn.
Some fucked up shit.
That's messed
And like
up.
do some like, you ever seen Saw? Like
Yeah.
where it's a puzzle and you gotta get out and then you die if you
Yeah.
don't get out. I could do that.
Oh man, that's messed up. Alright, that's even more uncivilized. Humane is another word. It's not humane to... Like, a lot of executions are public still, but they're not hangings. I think they're... a while ago... not like a while ago, I mean, like years ago, many years ago, they still had hanging used as, capital punishment. They had a gas chamber, the electric chair, and firing squad. Firing squad was just put out in like 2016 or 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, that's wild.
So are you saying
But-
that lethal injection is the humane and like acceptable way to kill someone?
Yes, kill not just anyone, a convicted criminal. Let's make that clear, not just anyone. Alright. Yeah,
Okay.
but if so, a convicted criminal has committed either rape or murder, based off what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote a paper on it a while ago about the death penalty.
Are you secretly like do you want to be like the next Fuhrer?
The next what?
You wanna
Here, no, I just didn't hear what you said.
you wanna go back to like Nazi Germany?
No, I
Like
don't
in a
want to be.
time
No,
machine?
no, I do not want to be a
Help
Nazi.
Hitler out
No,
and stuff.
I do not
And
think
then we can,
innocent people should be killed.
Go to Antarctica and start our own Aryan
What? What?
civilization.
Get everyone,
aliens.
get everyone from Marie's Discord. Streamer continent.
Yeah, streamer continent. But they all have to be Aryan.
Why? See,
Because.
you're racist and I'm not.
How is that racist?
No, because you're excluding everyone else. How is Marie gonna get there?
Well, she can come.
Bro, not with E-Rob though. E-Rob's dating Candy now.
You know, I really don't follow E-Rob.
You don't follow E-Rob?
I mean, I follow him on Twitch, but I don't really watch Twitch that much. I watched
Yeah.
maybe like one of his streams. He seems interesting, but
Yeah.
I
Did you
don't know,
watch?
like I mostly just watch CX stuff.
Yeah. It's about time for me to go to bed. So,
Oh, you got a bedtime.
oh no, I don't. I just want to because I gotta wake up at 6 tomorrow.
You're like, I gotta get out of here. I can't talk to this girl
Yeah, I'm
anymore.
tired as fuck. Leave me alone. No, I'm joking. All right, see you next episode soon. Later.
Okay. Later.
All right, that's the end of this. I have nothing better to put into, so I'm going to bed.